Welcome to Crawl or No Crawl. This is Carolyn Holzman. Today is October 26th, and yes, I'm back in town from a family event and ready to get back into this because it's exciting doing these daily ones. Okay, now today is a test day, and for any new viewers, let me show you here. You're looking at the index log where dates and times of new content as it gets published. I record those and then watch what happens and then record what happens. New content is published 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All the other days are observation day. And this time of the year, Google is actually quite active, but in kind of a weird way because it's great for some and not great for others. Now, as a reminder, new content findable by its keywords has not tested on since October 10th, not for simple or JavaScript. And I want to call your attention to today. And I will get back to this because this is the date the content that was findable was published was September 21st. Now, starting on October 10th, the rollbacks were recorded. And since then, it's been a completely different ballgame. Entire weeks of content that were previously findable by their keywords are now not so. And currently, the ones that are findable by their keywords are those that can be found in the site operator search, site : and then your domain name. Now, in this case, it's the home page, 3 category pages, and then 10 test pages. Now, that's an increase of 2 test pages from last week. Searching for the keyword set for those 2 new ones brings up the test pages. So category pages probably are getting stronger right now, I believe, because of all the backlinks. But the idea of, we'll get more into that. Okay, now the rest of the content on this site, when I go in Search Console, they're indexed. But they are obviously no longer served, meaning in Search Console, they're checking out as indexed, except for those, 10 plus pages that I mentioned earlier. None of the rest are being served. Now, I'd like you, if you will, go to your Search Console, and you want to look on the left-hand side under the indexed section, and then the pages item. And when you get to there, you scroll down and you'll see why pages aren't indexed. Those are in big letters. And underneath those words, it says pages that aren't indexed can't be served on Google. So indexed is one thing, and seeing your content on Google, or in other words, findable by its keywords, is often what we use the word index for, but it is not accurate. And we have to get good at describing what we see. So that is having our content served in the primary index, the one that you can see when we search our keywords. That's what the goal is to have our content served, not just indexed, but served. So in that section in Search Console, Google tells you what content is not indexed, and I would say, or served, and why. And it lists 2 reasons. It says either the reason your page isn't indexed is a problem on your website, or it says Google systems, one or the other. Now, in the documentation, Google says if it's your website, fix your errors and revalidate with that section. What they do not tell you is that for Google systems, you can revalidate, and sometimes those will fail. But again, it'll be due to Google systems, and then you just simply try again. Now, I've done this for dozens and dozens of pages. That's how Google knows, I think, to go back and recrawl en masse. And please note, I'm not telling you to submit new content to Google this way. I've spent months telling you not to do that. Use Google Indexing API. That part has not changed. What I'm sharing with you now is once it was findable, and if it's not, check in there. You'll likely find your content in there, and the reason it's not currently findable or served is because of a Google system error. All right, so just remember, neither you nor I can fix the Google systems, but we can keep knocking on that door, and I'm suggesting you do that. So now let's look at the bots. Okay, as you recall, last week we had a bunch of new bots come in. I'm just going to scroll up slowly. There you go. Like I'm trying to come up again. It's a struggle to notate things that we haven't really had to notate before. So last week we had the desktop version of 16, then we got a new one, 17, and then 2 days later we got the desktop for Googlebot 17. All right, so we had a high day yesterday-ish on these. Actually, I think it was the 24th. I'll fix that. Anyway, we had a high day this week, and I think that's indicative of these bots here. The desktop version, they're the ones that crawl existing content. I think that's really important right now for Google because they know there's a problem. There's a problem with the servability of content. All right, now, without question, I mentioned October 10th. When it comes to assigning keywords to new content, the criteria has changed. And the reason why I'm so excited about it, this is the first time in testing indexation we've been able to document and record this event, especially that it's Q4, when Google does weird stuff and makes people go into paid ads. Now, there are lots of people in the last few days I saw continuing to report a lack of indexation or findability of their content, and they've seen increased traffic to their category pages. The big and scary takeaway is that we've documented evidence that content can show indexed in Search Console and not be findable or served by their keywords because most of us do not understand the serving system. None of us do, really. But I think this data is at least, shall we say, is at least going to shine the flashlight under our chins like we do at campouts at night, so to speak. So at least we can see an outline, even if it's scary. So for now, our money content is findable. If we need to know that it's findable, we have to be tracking results based on keywords using a tool that can provide us with the probability of our content to be served and where. And that's why I use Quora, which has a volatility tool built in now. And I also use SERP Robot to track daily because I want to record a history. So Quora doesn't, you can save the files, but it doesn't show you multiple days at a time. So you have to do that in a different way. But it's highly valuable to let you know if you're even in the search. Now, when Google updates the HTML of search results, what we see when we go in our browsers, then you really just have to rely on Quora and until the other tools adjust their HTML adjustments that Google did. All right, well, stay tuned. If you want to get more SEO content, check out Confessions of an SEO podcast. That'll be this week, every Friday at 8 a.m. And this week I'm going to talk about the current state of indexation. I'm also going to be offering the Forensic SEO training again in early 2023, probably starting in late January. If you're interested in getting a heads up, go to forensicseotraining.com and use the form to ask to get on the early bird list. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Get back to work.